can ride a horse. I shall ride a horse. I must ride a horse. I may ride a horse. So all these words can, could, shall, should, may, might, these, if you pay attention, are changing the meaning of the sentence. It's changing the intention of the subject. It's changing the mood of the subject. Everything else remains the same, but only these few words change the meaning of the sentence. Not the meaning, but at least the mood, the intention of the sentence, right? These are called modals, my dear Learnegizers. So today's topic is modals or modal auxiliary verbs, modal verbs, modal helping verbs. You can call it by any name. All of them mean the same. So today we are going to do modals in this video. Welcome back to Learnegize, where you learn to strategize. What are modals? Where to use them? Which modal should be used in which condition? How to recognize them? All these things, all these doubts would be cleared in this particular session, my dear Learnegizers. Modals एक ऐसा topic है which can be confusing at times. Because helping verbs is MR भी है, do have भी है. All these words are also helping verbs. अभी आप कह रहे हो modals भी helping verbs हैं. How do we differentiate between them? How do we recognize them? How do we understand which word or which helping verb should be used where? All these queries would be answered in this session with a few tricks and tips. So stay tuned till the end of the video. Trust me. इस पूरी वीडियो को देखने के बाद यू विल हैव नो डाउट्स रिगार्डिंग मॉडल्स एंड देयर यूजेज. कहाँ पे क्या यूज होना है, क्या मॉडल्स होते हैं, क्या हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स होते हैं, वुड बी ऑल क्लियर. सो डोंट मिस आउट द वीडियो. प्लीज स्टे विद मी टिल द एंड. सो लेट्स बिगिन. Modals, as we all know, are helping verbs. Okay? Is MR are also helping verbs. जैसे हम सब ने किया होगा initially also, right from the beginning, एक मेन वर्ब होता है, एक हेल्पिंग वर्ब होता है. मेन वर्ब्स आर योर एक्शन वर्ड्स जो कि आपके एक्शन को डिपिक्ट करते हैं, लाइक एक्ट, स्लीप, ईट, ड्रिंक, स्टडी, राइट एंड द लिस्ट गोज ऑन. हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स टेल यू ईदर द टाइम, जिसको हम टेंस कहते हैं, कि किस समय वो एक्शन हो रहा है, या वो मूड को शो करते हैं कि सब्जेक्ट का मूड क्या है, इंटेंशन क्या है इन द सेंटेंस. सो द हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स इज एम आर ऑलवेज आर यूज्ड फॉर शोइंग द टेंस ऑफ द सेंटेंस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई ईट. ओके, आई एम ईटिंग, मैं खा रहा हूं, मैं खाता हूं. मैं खाऊंगा, आई विल ईट. आई वॉज ईटिंग, मैं खा रहा था. सो आप जब इन अलग अलग फॉर्म्स ऑफ हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स को यूज करते हो तो आपको पता चलता है कि आप कौन से टाइम की बात कर रहे हो, किस समय है ये सेंटेंस बनाया गया. अभी का है, पहले का है, अभी कंटिन्यूअस हो रहा है या आगे के लिए है. करेक्ट. एंड मॉडल्स ऑन द अदर हैंड आर द हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स व्हिच आर यूज्ड टू शो द मूड ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट, शो द इंटेंशन ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट. ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई कैन, जैसे हमने शुरू में डिस्कस किया, आई कैन राइड अ हॉर्स. I should ride a horse. I must ride a horse. I may ride a horse. So कहीं पे आपकी ability दिख रही है कि आप horse riding कर सकते हैं. कहीं पे दिख रहा है कि compulsion है कि आपको ज़रूर horse riding करनी चाहिए. You must ride a horse. कहीं पे दिख रहा है कि आप possibility है कि शायद आप ride करें. I may ride a horse. Okay, so what is it showing? All these models are showing you the mood or the intention of the subject in the sentence. Okay, what are modals? अब इसके साथ में let's look at a small definition of modals. Modals are helping verbs which are used with another main verb. Okay, these are not standalone verbs. They cannot hold themselves responsible for the entire sentence. In other words, simple language में अकेले ये verbs cannot depict the meaning of the whole sentence. We look into the examples one by one. Next point to remember for modals is that modals are used after the main verb, okay, and they use the base form of the verb. we have the V1, V2 and V3 forms. It uses always the base form. Eat, drink, sleep, carry, write, written, wrote is not used. Whereas on the other hand, the other helping verbs which show the time or in the sentence like is, am, are can use any form of the main verb. For example, I am sleeping. ing form use हो रहा है. Okay. I sleep. She sleeps. Okay. I will be sleeping. Alright? Clear? Next point to remember about modals is that modals do not change their form. Any helping verb which can change its form is not a modal. Always remember. For example, you can never say can. So can is a modal, okay? You cannot say cans. I cans do this. I cans not do this. Okay? I mays go to office. I mays stay back at home. You never do that. Yeah, I made stayed back at home. On the other hand, you do say the boy goes to school. The verb is go. Okay. I will go to school. Right. So these are the helping verbs which do not change their base form or any other form. So they are not used in plural form. They cannot be used in the past tense. Last point to be remembered for the modals is that two modals cannot be used together in a sentence unless and until they are separated by a conjunction. Conjunctions क्या होते हैं? Connecting words like and, but, right? So you must stay at home. You shall must stay at home. The sentence is not correct when you say you shall must stay at home. You shall and you must stay at home still makes sense, and this sentence is correct. Okay, so these are the 5 major points that need to be remembered regarding modals. Let's repeat them one by one. First, modals are helping verbs which show the mood or the intention of the subject in a sentence. They use the base form of the main verb and they are always used with the main verb and are used before the main verb in a sentence. Okay, so they always need a main verb. Okay, they do not change their form. And the last point is that two modals cannot be used together in a sentence unless they are separated by a conjunction. So these are the 5 points. Let's look at them one by one. So we said that modals are helping verbs which are used with the main verb. They cannot be used in a sentence alone. For example, I will my food with you. Is the sentence making any sense? No. I will share my food with you. Makes some sense. So share is the main verb here. Another example, you will to school today. You will to school today makes no sense unless and until we use the main verb go. You will go to school today. Okay. You will come to school today. Still, they make sense. But a modal used alone in a sentence holds no meaning. And we also said that the modals are used before the main verb, right? Let's look at the same examples which we just did. I will share my food with you. Okay. I will is the modal and it is being used before the main verb, that is share. Next example that we did was you will go to school today. Go is the main verb and will is the modal which is used before the main verb. We've also proved that the sentence holds no meaning if the modal is used alone in the sentence. Next point was that the modals always use the base form of the verb. Let's look at some examples here. I can drive a car. Do I say I can driving a car? I can driven a car? No, it makes no sense. We can say I may drive a car. I shall drive a car. I will drive a car. Whichever modal you use, you always use the base form of the verb. And on the other hand, there are helping verbs which depict the time in the sentence can use any form of the verb. For example, I was driving the car. I am driving the car. I will be driving the car. I have driven the car. So these are some examples which show that the modals use the base form of the verb. Next was that the modals don't change their form. So do we ever say canning, cans, I canning do this, I cans do this, we cans do this. No, whether it's a singular subject or a plural subject, the modals are always used only in their standard form. They can never change their form. This point is also proven. The last point was that the modals cannot be used together, and we already had given an example. Let's repeat it. We said you shall must go to school, right? You shall must go to school makes no sense. Still, we can say you shall and you must go to school. So I hope all these points are now clear to you, and you will be able to differentiate between a modal and a helping verb. Okay. So I hope now the meaning of the modals is absolutely clear to all of you. All right. Now let's look at the list of the modals. The general list of the modals that can be used are can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, would, ought to. Now there are two ways to learn modals. Okay. कई बार होता है वी ऑल गेट कन्फ्यूज कि मॉडल्स का यूज़ कैसे करें, कहाँ पे कौन सा मॉडल यूज़ हो रहा है, कहीं पे अबिलिटी है, कहीं पे परमिशन है, अभी कहीं पे हमें कुछ बोला जा रहा है, कहीं पे सेंटेंस कुछ है जहाँ पे कहीं पे कैन भी यूज़ हो पा रहा है, कहीं पे कॉट भी यूज़ हो कुड भी यूज़ हो पा रहा है. हाउ डू वी नो विच मॉडल टू बी यूज्ड where? I'll tell you a very easy way to recognize which modal should be used where. जहाँ पे possibilities हैं दो या दो से ज़्यादा modals के use होने की भी. Alright? So there are two ways to learn the modals, as I just began the sentence and I didn't complete it. One is to pick up each modal and learn and mug up the places where that particular modal can be used. For example, can. Okay, this is the first modal that comes in the head. Can. Can की usage ability में है, can की usage एक offer में है. इस तरह से हम learn करने बैठेंगे तो फिर can का learn करेंगे, फिर could का करेंगे, may, might, must. So this is something which can confuse you. I'll tell you an easier way to learn the modals with respect to their usage. Permission अगर हमें लेनी है तो कौन से modals use हो सकते हैं? अगर हमें offer देना है तो कौन से modals use हो सकते हैं? अगर हमें advice देनी है तो कौन से modals use हो सकते हैं? Order देने के लिए कौन से modals use हो सकते हैं? Possibilities के लिए कौन से modals का use हो सकता है? So this way the list would be easier for you to understand and for you to analyze कि कहाँ पे किस modal का हम use कर सकते हैं, कौन से modal को हम replace कर सकते हैं by another modal. So now let's look at the usage of the various modals कि एक modal को कहाँ कहाँ पे हम use कर सकते हैं या उस usage में कौन कौन से modals को fit किया जा सकता है. Okay? The first and the foremost category that comes in the head is the ability. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, I can read, I can ride a horse, I can write with both my hands. So can यहाँ पे shows the ability. Okay? Ability category के लिए हमेशा can या could का use होता है. कहाँ can करें, कहाँ पे could करें? Can is used for normal abilities and could is also used for abilities, but the past abilities, abilities of the past. In other words, I could write with both my hands when I was 5 years old. I could sleep for 10 hours when I was younger. I could read all night a few years back. I can read all night. Okay? So this is the difference between the usage of can and could with respect to ability. Hope it's clear. Let's move down to the next usage, which is permission. Abhi, permission is another very common usage, which is where the modals are used. And permission के लिए 4 modals are used. Can, could, may, might. कहाँ पे हम can use करें, कहाँ पे हम may use करें? Can and may is very clear. We know that हमें जब formally permission लेनी है, teacher से लेनी है, office में किसी boss से लेनी है, principal से लेनी है, newspaper of editor से लेनी है, maybe for that matter any other official way or formal way where we have to take permission, we always use may. Okay? Informal way में जहाँ पे हमें permission लेनी है, we make the use of can. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Can I use your pen? Can I borrow your pen? Can I sit with you? So all these things are informal permissions. Now formally, may I come in? May I drink water? When you are in a formal environment. Okay? Now अभी हमने बात की थी कि permission में can, could, may, might सब use होते हैं. तो अब could और might का use कहाँ होगा? Could and might को हम use करेंगे more polite permission के लिए. Okay, for example, could would be used for more polite informal permission. Can and could एक टीम है, and may and might एक टीम है. Informal टीम है can and could, and formal टीम है may and might. Okay, can का हमें यूज पता है, may का यूज पता है. Could का यूज होगा, could यूज होगा जहां पे हमें थोड़ा और पोलाइटली बोलेंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, could I sit with you please? तो थोड़ा सा और पोलाइट फॉर्म है ऑफ आस्किंग फॉर इनफॉर्मल परमिशंस. एंड might I go with you to the shopping mall today? Another polite way of asking for permission. या अगर हम उसको बोलें कि might is used in a place where hesitation is there, where you are asking for permission, a formal permission, but you are hesitant and somehow probably you know that the answer is going to be a no. तो वहां पे हम might का यूज करते हैं. बहुत rare यूज होता है might का for permissions. Make it clear to you. Let me give an example. Like, might I smoke here? So यहाँ पे you know that the answer would be a no. Okay, you realize that this is not a smoking area, but still you seek permission because you want to really smoke. So वहाँ पे might I smoke here? These are some places where might can be used for permission. जहाँ पे हमें पता है, possibility है कि आंसर हमें नो में ही मिलने वाला है, हमें जवाब हाँ में नहीं मिलेगा. Where you are hesitant to take the permission. Okay, and that is the place where might is used. Otherwise permission के लिए formal may, informal can. Okay, and अगर थोड़ा सा और polite way में informally हमें पूछना है तो could. Okay, ability and permission are clear. Let's move down to the next category. Next category is possibility. Possibility means possibility for something to happen. For example, जहाँ पे हमें लगता है का यूज होता है, हमें लगता है कि ये होगा. Okay, या लगता है कि ये हो सकता है. That is the place where we use may or might. Okay, where there is a strong possibility of something to happen, we use a may. Where there is a weak possibility of something to happen, यानी हो सकता है हो या doubtful है होगा कि नहीं होगा types, वहां पे हम might use करते हैं. Very weak possibility of something to happen. So for example, I might meet you tomorrow. पता नहीं है मैं मिलूंगा कि नहीं या मिलूंगी कि नहीं आपको कल, but I might meet you tomorrow. May के लिए examples would be for possibility. He may come first in the class if you don't work hard. Okay, so अगर आपने काम नहीं किया तो हो सकता है आपका friend first आ जाए क्लास के अंदर. So this is a strong possibility. It may be sunny tomorrow if it is not raining today. Again, a strong possibility कि अगर आज बारिश नहीं हो रही तो हो सकता है कल सूरज निकलेगा ही. So it's a strong possibility. So possibility में we use may or might. Clear? Let's move down to the next usage. The next usage of the modals is willingness. Willingness to do something. जहां पे हम will and shall का use करते हैं. Okay? Now it's very confusing for people to understand where to use will and where to use shall क्योंकि interchangeably use हो जाते हैं. Okay? Like for example, I shall play cricket today. I will play cricket today. दोनों में एक willingness है, but where to use shall and where to use will? So just to make it very clear and just to make it simple, with the first form of the subject, that is I and we के साथ हम generally shall use करते हैं, and बाकी सारे subjects के साथ with any other subject you can use will. Okay, just to remember it very easily, कई बार confusion हो जाता है I और will में shall था या will था. तो I and we है, that is we is also with a W. W के साथ W नहीं use होगा, so we के साथ will नहीं use होगा. So I and we के साथ shall use होगा और बाकी सब subject के साथ will use होगा. Okay, so I shall play cricket today. Tony will play cricket today. Okay, we shall play cricket today. Ria and the other team will play cricket today. Okay, just to make it very simple. Otherwise, in recent times, both of them can be interchangeably used. Another category for the usage of modals is obligation or advice or a suggestion. Okay, necessity भी हम कह सकते हैं. यहाँ पे कौन से modals use होंगे? यहाँ पे modals use होते हैं should, must and ought to. Okay, these are the three modals used. Now, which one to use where? When you're giving a general advice, एक general advice या general suggestion दिया जा रहा है, which is not under compulsion for you to follow. Okay, it's not compulsory that you follow that advice. You may or you may not follow it. General advice. For example, you should drink 8 glasses of water every day. You should go to bed early. Okay, But when the advice is compulsory for you to follow, the suggestion that is being given to you or the order that is being given to you should be followed by you under compulsion, you would use must. You must complete your homework before you go out to play. Okay, that is where you will use a must there. Ought to का use कहाँ होगा? Ought to का use होगा जहाँ पे moral advice दे रहे हैं, which has a teaching attached to it. For example, you ought to take care of your parents in their old age. You ought to serve your country. Okay, so that is where ought to would be used. I hope this category is also clear to you. Let's move down to the next category. The next category or the next usage of the modals would be an offer. When you need to make an offer. Okay, the modals which are used for offer are will, would, and can. Okay, will you be my business partner? Will you go with me for dinner tonight? So this is where you are offering to go out for dinner. You are offering for the other person to be your business partner. It's an offer that you're making. Would का usage होगा जहाँ पे more polite offer दिया जा रहा है. Like for example, would you like to have a cup of tea? So यहाँ पे politeness के साथ भी है just saying would. Can का use हम करेंगे जहाँ पे हम ability का offer दे रहे हैं. Can I help you? Can I do this work for you? This is another offer, but ये offer of ability कहलाता है. जहाँ पे हम अपनी तरफ से कुछ और help करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं according to our abilities. Can I help you climb up? Okay, so this is where can would be used for an offer. These are a couple of categories or usage of the modals where you can use. So once again, let's repeat the categories or let's repeat the usage. Ability के लिए we use can and could. Permission के लिए we use can and could for informal permissions. We use may and might for formal permissions. Possibility के लिए, possibility of something to happen, we use may and might. May is used for a strong possibility and might is used for a weak possibility. Alright? Willingness के लिए we use shall and will. Next category is about an order or a suggestion or an advice. Okay? Where we use should, must and ought to. Should for a general advice, must for a compulsory advice, and ought to for a moral advice. Okay? For offers, we use will, would, and can. Will for general offers, would for more polite offers, and can for offers regarding the ability. Okay, I hope now all your doubts regarding modals are clear and you will be able to use the modals correctly in your sentences. For your self-practice, I'm attaching an exercise or a worksheet, so to say. So please do attempt it and let me know if you found it difficult or easy after you went through the entire video. Thank you so much for now. Keep learning, keep reading, keep practicing. Bye-bye for now.